God, we just want you to be glorified. Have your way. Take your place.
He says, take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I'm gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden, it is light.
This is who I am. Watch me walk this out.
No matter what your circumstance is, He is your answer. My name's Angelia Waite. I have 3 amazing sons. I've been married to my high school sweetheart for 32 years. My oldest son plays professional baseball, Switzerland, Germany, South Africa. My second son, Chandler, is a senior in college. Our youngest son, Ramsey, drowned in our backyard pool at the age of 3.5 in the year 2000. For many, May 26, 2000 is just another date, but for my family, that date would forever change our lives. We were serving the Lord, loved the Lord with every ounce of our being. We were raising our children in the fear and admonition of the Lord, and suddenly I found myself shifting from mommy to mom. You see, as a mom to an 8-year-old and 12-year-old, it's different than mommy to a 3.5-year-old. And so within a blink of an eye, I found myself transitioning to another place. And honestly, I wasn't ready to transition into that. I thought I had many, many years to be mommy to this little guy. And I found myself in a different place. Through that journey, God has brought my family to a new place. And I'm in the process currently of penning Ramsey's story. And that should be out this year, 2014. And that has opened up a lot of wounds, a lot of pain that I thought I had already dealt with. And as I go through that journey again and I begin to walk through those details, I see that the healing that I thought I had already grabbed hold of has only been a portion. I've only been healed in parts. But God continues to heal me every day. But the book has just opened up a new area of my life, because I can see the transition of where He's brought me from and where He's brought my family from. And we've trusted Him, and He's been faithful to us. This book, Ramsey's story, is going to be, as I said, released in 2014. And the proceeds from this book are going to house our first boys' orphanage. And it's Ramsey's Rescue is the name. And we are currently praying about the location of this first orphanage for boys. Angelia Waite Ministries is a 501c3 nonprofit. We are reaching out, training, teaching leaders, going into all areas of the world, all walks of life, encouraging them, bringing them words of wisdom and hope and a pure gospel, teaching and training. And a large part of this ministry is mentorship. I love discipling and mentoring young leaders coming up. My passion is to release resources to them. There are also theological resources. Lots of different areas other than just my CDs and audio cassettes, which they can do that as well and order those, and they're teaching tools that they can take into their own church. But I want to make these resources available to those that are not able to attend Bible college. They're not able to attend seminary, but I want them to use them as a building block. And I want not just pastors and leaders. I want women, I want men that need a word of encouragement to be able to click onto angeliawaite.org and say, I found Jesus on that site. I was encouraged. I was empowered. Something she said tweaked where I am today, and I was empowered. And that's what we're looking for. We want to go into all areas of the world, releasing these tools, releasing these resources, planting churches, releasing orphanages and planting orphanages. I don't know what God's going to do, what all He's going to do with Ramsey's Rescue, but I'm pretty confident that it's not just for boys. So we look forward to seeing what God does. I'm also a local pastor, and I pastor a church of 600, just over 600. And one of the ministries that I oversee is, we call it Winning Women. And when I first stepped into the church, this particular location, I felt like the Lord said, the women are standing on the edge. They're teetering on the edge. And they need tools so that they can step up into the new place, into the place that I've called them to. And so what has transpired is Winning Women. Another point to Winning Women is we cross denominational lines. We have women from not only all walks of life, but we have the Baptist, the Methodist, the Presbyterian, the Catholic, the Church of Christ, all linking arms. We have every ethnic group you can imagine, all linking arms, saying we need each other. Help us, give us tools. God never intended us to walk this journey alone. And that's exactly what we've done. We've linked arms. We've loved one another through the pain, through the suffering. All the while, God is getting the glory for it. He's showing up in our midst, loving on His daughters, healing His girls. We're making a difference in Winning Women across not only our region, but we're crossing the state lines, and I believe we're going to touch the world with what God is doing in our midst. You know, one of my passions is to train up and teach leaders and pastors. I love going into foreign countries, and what I have found in Bulgaria and Moldova and the various areas is that a lot of those pastors are planting churches with zero resources. They have no education, they have no training, and they immediately say yes to the call of God with no planning. They just say yes. They just say yes with reckless abandonment. And as I'm in these countries and I'm speaking and teaching these leaders, I'm looking at their faces and they're holding on to the edge of the chairs, white knuckles, and they just want to be fed. They just want to be fed. And one of my passions is doing just that. God allows me to lay hands on the sick and to restore their physical bodies. But not only that, I believe as often as He allows me to do that, He allows me to speak into their brokenness, into their heart. And it's just as powerful because it's Him touching them. Whether it's emotional, whether it's hopelessness, or whether it's the broken body. He's the healer. He says, I am the God that heals you. I am your provider. I'm the one that provides for you. Whatever your circumstance is. If it's peace, I'm Jehovah Shalom. If it's financial, I'm Him too. He says, I am the great I am. And that means He's whatever you need Him to be. He's Jehovah Rapha, your great healer. He's Jehovah Shalom, your peace. When the things of this world's bumping up against you, He's the anchor that pulls you back to the center. I've walked through great depression in my life as a result of so many different things. And I'm telling you, He's been the one that has scooped me out of the bed and set my feet on solid ground when I knew I couldn't get up another day. I believe He literally released His breath through my lungs, through the deepest hour in my life. He was hope when I could not find any. And you know, the scripture says He's no respecter of persons. What He does for one, He does for the other. And I believe whatever He does for me, He'll do for you. That's who He is. I don't believe He plays favorites. I believe He loves us all the same. I do believe He trusts us with different areas and different levels of ministry. And I think that's precious, but I'm telling you, He loves us in a way like no other. You can't cause Him to turn His face away from you. And most of us have tried. I know again, not only in my darkest hour when I wanted to turn away, and I'm sitting there looking at my circumstance saying, where am I going to go? What are my alternatives? Once you have tapped into who He is and the great I am in your life, there's no going back. You've stepped over the line. There is no going back. And that's where I found myself. Friends, I would love to come to your event. Please check out my website at angeliawaite.org for all booking information and resources. I hope to see you there.